Welcome back, everybody. Today we are going to discuss Musharaka Contract, and today with us we have Tayyib. Welcome, Tayyib. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you very much for having me once again.
So, Tayyib, how do we define Musharaka contracts?
Let me start with the fact that Musharaka is one of the purest Islamic finance contracts that unfortunately is still getting not the due share in the product structures due to its risks, it's associated with this contract. Musharaka basically is derived from Arabic word shirka, which means sharing. So Musharaka is a contract in which two or more partners they join their assets, their capital, their services, their labor, and they create an enterprise. And the objective of that enterprise is to make profit. So in this case, you can say it can take a shape of a joint asset, or it can take a joint of a shape of a joint enterprise. So if it takes the shape of a joint asset, it covers under the concept of shirkatul milk. And if it takes the shape of a joint enterprise, it is covered under the concept of shirkatul aqd in the Islamic financing terminology.
So, then is it similar to joint venture?
Yes, to the extent you can say it is a joint venture, but at the end of the day, we need to study the terms and conditions which were agreed by the partners in the joint venture. If those terms and conditions coincide with the conditions that are allowed by Sharia, we can say that this joint venture is is a musharaka. Otherwise, we cannot say that because musharaka has certain limitations to follow, and Sharia compliance is the paramount of all those conditions. So, any joint venture, when we have to gauge whether it's a musharaka or not, we have to understand the conditions. What are the terms of that contract?
So, what are the rules for capital contribution for Musharaka?
Yes, there are certain rules actually defined for capital contribution from each partner. The first one is the preferably the contribution should be in monetary terms. If not in the monetary terms, then it must be the fair value of that assets must be determined before the joint venture or before the musharaka starts. For example, two partners want to start a business, and one partner is contributing by cash, and other partner has a shop, and they want to run that joint enterprise in that shop. So that shop will be considered the contribution of a partner, but it must be valued at fair value at the start of the contract or before the business is start. So the monetary terms must be ascertained before the start of the business for each of the partners because their investment ratio must be determined at that point in time. Secondly, if they are investing in different currencies, then these currencies must be translated into a one unit of single currency on the spot rate. So these are the two major things when you look at the capital contribution side.
So, that is the capital contribution. What about the profit and loss sharing mechanism?
Yes, this is very interesting concept. The profit sharing depends on the agreement between the partners. They can agree any profit sharing ratio they decide. For example, if the partner is working little harder than other partners, his profit sharing can be more or others can be less. Any profit sharing ratio can be agreed between the partners. But there is an important thing to understand. If one person is a sleeping partner, he is not doing anything other than investing capital in that business, then his share of profit cannot exceed his share of investment. On the other hand, if all the partners are active, they are doing business, they can agree any profit sharing ratio they want. On the other hand, there is a specific ruling for the loss. Loss is always shared based on the ratio of investment. So in nutshell, if I repeat what I said, the profit sharing ratio can be determined as an agreement between all the partners, but the ratio of loss is always determined by the ratio of their investment.
What are the
Yes,
general roles and responsibilities of each partners?
every partner is the agent of another partner. So action of one partner will be considered the action of the enterprise or action of the joint venture or action of the joint enterprise. Secondly, in unlike Mudarba, where Mudarib is the only one who can work and Abul Mar is not entitled to contribute anything in the business management. In Musharaka, every partner has a right to contribute into the day-to-day affairs of the management. One of them can be, appointed as a manager of the business with the agreement of all other partners. He can get a salary as a manager on top of each share as agreed by all the partners. On top of it, the partners may agree that only some partners will work and other will not work. So at the end of the day, it's a mutual understanding between the partners, how they want to manage that business. But each and every partner is entitled to take part in the business and to be a part of the decision making process. So the roles are very clear, but collectively or individually, they represent the business in the eyes of the world.
What are the types of Musharaka?
There are two major types of Musharaka. One of them is called Shirkatul Milk. The other one is called Shirkatul Aqd. Shirkatul Milk is a type where two partners combine their resources to create joint ownership in an asset. For example, an Islamic financial institution and a customer jointly owned a house, and that house is 80% owned by the bank, 20% owned by the customer, and then later on, the bank can rent its share to the customer on ijara contract. So this type of hybrid contract it's a new form of contract which we call diminishing musharaka, which we cover later. So Shirkatul Milk is creating a joint ownership in an asset. On the other hand, Shirkatul Aqd is to create a joint ownership or joint enterprise like a normal partnership in a business. Shirkatul Aqd also has further types, Shirkatul Wujuh, Shirkatul Inan, and some other types which we'll inshallah discuss some other day.
So Tayyib, which Sharia standard govern Musharaka?
Yes, there is a Sharia standard number 12 that provides a guidance on all types of musharaka, whether shirkatul aqd or shirkatul milk or diminishing musharaka. Our viewers are invited to read that standard, and if they have any queries, they can come back to us anytime for further clarification.
Well, thank you very much, Tayyib. If our viewers have any questions regarding Musharaka or any other topic on Islamic banking, they can reach us at info@ibflrc.com, or they can follow our YouTube channel, or they can check our website for upcoming courses. Thank you very much. Bye for now.